I haven't even played 10 hours yet. I know people will be like, oh, you can't do reviews if you haven't played 10 hours, but I have beat, oh, sorry, 100 hours, but if I have beaten the game so far, did 3 playthroughs. The first two I got my ass fucking handed to me. Was a research building. Alright, so yeah, this is a tutorial thing. The little things in the top left, I don't know if you can see my cursor. So you just press X's to close them all, or you can just outright disable them. You know, that's the speed. You can press space to speed it up and slow it down. Pretty basic, you know, resources. There's a cool little feature here that I just noticed as well. Is a temperature overlay for the thermal vision, which is actually really useful. It's not just for stylistic thing. Super cool. Now, you know, before I get into a review kind of thing, because I'll probably use this as a review since you know I'll probably watch my stream. So I have enough research now. So, you know, I do have a bias for the studios, as you would have known by now if you watched any of my previous videos. Yeah, so I think that's up on the gameplay. So, this is a strategy game, as you can obviously see and tell. And so the gameplay, because there can be many different reasons why you're into a game. You know, there could be animation, uh, plot, story, um, you know, character design, character development, art. Some people are just into bloody soundtracks or OSTs. You know, there's rhythm games, for instance, are still a thing. They're kind of just niche crowd, but there's many different reasons why people could be into a game. But primarily at the heart of all games is gameplay. Beautiful. So in terms of gameplay, as I expected, it doesn't really do anything mind blowing or incredible. It's just kind of decent, mediocre. It doesn't really do anything new or different, really, like mechanic wise or anything. But the thing that I really like about these sort of games that 11-bit does, and but just like indie games really, is their game design. So how they bring in something like the Book of Laws here, for instance, because this isn't a strategy game where you build an army of like thousands of people to throw out at another army controlled by AI or a bunch of armies to eliminate them. It's like, no, you're just battling the cold. It's the only thing you battle in this game. And there's multiple different morality things. Like most of 11-bit games are around morality. So it's not always good to do book of laws, I found, which is an interesting thing. You don't want to just be signing off on them like crazy. You just want to do it every once in a while when the time is right. You know, like these things, there's not really a good right or wrong. It's just what you define to be good or bad. And there's certain things that are both beneficial of every choosing and some which are going to be negative. You know, like for instance, people like the cemetery more, but thoughts disposal will be a bit easier. The soup one, for instance, is one that people look at a lot because you know you can just give them normal food or you can give them soup, which they won't like, but it'll let you be able to give them more food quickly at a faster rate and so forth. But sawdust is even worse, less healthy for them. You know, it'll make them sick and so forth, but you'll keep them alive and you'll keep people fed. And it's quite hard to get food later on in the game, you know. So there's plenty of decisions like that that you'll see up in the road. Um, and it's just interesting how the game is kind of built around those sort of morality things because they will have repercussions that you will have to face later on through events and so forth. So it's not a direct decision-based or story-driven game, which I really like with these games. Is the story is one that's unique to each person and what they experience through the game, depending on what they do in the game. Um, those sort of games always attract me. They call it what was it? Reactive gameplay. I love that. I love reactive gameplay. And this really is about reactive gameplay. Scenario is workshop to come later. It is pretty new and tons of other people have made reviews about it, so there wouldn't be anything really exciting about this per se. Something you want to keep going though is technology. You just want to keep having people pump out shit like that. So you've got quite good ones. I like how it's got the temperature scaling here. I probably actually disabled that now. Right, the settings are actually pretty decent. Alright, basic stuff. It's got a lot of things here. I like having this so I can just disable what I really don't like to save me the space and so forth. All these audio options though, fuck yeah. Hate games that don't have it. I mean, it's kind of to be expected of a game of this quality. Just basic controls and so forth. Nothing impressive, but stuff like this, 40 hunger. And, you know, the two things like discontent and hope. If your hope drops too low, they'll actually hate you and try to kick you out. But if it but if your discontent rises, they'll start doing things like stealing from you and trying to leave and shit. Which leaving just outright gets them killed. So you don't really want that. Because you need your people, of course.